Welcome to Dear Texas Radio, where we encourage Texans to drop everything and read. Your hostess for today's show is Arlene Gale.
Yes, hi everybody. Welcome to Dear Texas Radio, where we do encourage you to drop everything and read. I am indeed Arlene Gale, your host for today's show, and we're going to do something a little bit different, but I'm excited to welcome you tonight and welcome my very special guest. See if I don't butcher his last name. Let's try this, Alan. Are you ready? Alan Bourgeois?
You got it.
Did I do it? Yay!
Mm-hmm.
So Alan is a Texas author and a marketing expert and founder and what I refer to as our fearless leader. He's the founder-director of TxAuthors, which is an organization that is unlike anything else in the United States. What Alan has done with this organization to support authors is it's dramatically amazing. So with that, no pressure. Alan, how are you?
I'm great. Yeah, you added the pressure. All right.
So now that I've bragged about TxAuthors, and I am a member, so I can say that with all honesty that I do know that it is an amazing, one-of-a-kind organization and that I have benefited from as well as many, many others throughout the state. So, Alan, I'm going to be quiet for a minute and ask you to explain to us what makes TxAuthors so unique and wonderful.
Okay. Well, it's a pleasure being on the show, and thank you very much. TxAuthors was created from the need of finding help with marketing for authors. When I, as a publisher at the time, I was looking around trying to find help with marketing, understand all the different things that are out there so that I could better market the books that my authors that I was publishing for would help benefit from. And I found there was just nothing. And I was really surprised. There are thousands of writing organizations, which is great. And you name the genre, and there's an organization for it somewhere in Texas or somewhere in the United States. But for marketing, there was nothing. There was no support for that. So I created the organization in August 2011. So we're almost at 6 years old. And just developed a lot of programs, a lot of different events to help TxAuthors stay one step ahead of everyone else, be able to learn how to market, learn how to sell themselves and their books, and we just continue to grow. And one of the best things that's come out of it is the Authors Marketing event, which we'll be talking about.
Okay, so tell me by the numbers, how many authors and genres does the organization represent right now?
Our bookstore website, which is books.TxAuthors.com, we have about 48 different genres that are included. As far as the number of books that we sell, it's between 1,500 to 1,700 titles. The number of authors that we currently represent is just shy of 300, and I'm real excited we're growing. But that's a small cry for what is actually out there. Through the research over the last few years, we estimate there's over 8,400 published Texas authors, which is a lot. And you can imagine each one of them doing at least 2 books. And that's even a small amount considering what a lot of the averages are. That's 16,000 titles out there that people can read, from nonfiction to fiction and everything in between. So we're excited to represent what we do, and we're always growing and wanting to get as many authors involved with us as they possibly can be.
Right. And you and I share a passion in marketing, and especially marketing and helping starting authors or, authors who have done multiple books, but then in their wheels and they're not really getting any momentum. Or, as you know, technology changes. So once you get momentum and you think you know how to do social media, everything changes. So in a way to keep authors up to date on changing trends and different types of marketing and where they should be, where they shouldn't be, how they can keep from saying things that will kill their brand, you have developed this program that's coming up in July. And I think it's awesome. So will you tell us a little bit about the Authors Marketing Certification Program?
Sure. The certification program comes out of our second annual event known as the Authors Marketing Event. It is a weekend purely about authors learning how to market themselves and their books. And we go from the simple radio show interviews to TV, how to get on those different mediums, how to use Twitter, how to use emails, how to stand in an elevator and pitch your book in less than 30 seconds. Just anything we can find that will help an author develop the brand, sell their books, and also grow in the marketing and sales aspect that exists that they don't even know is out there. So from all of that, we learned that 9 out of 10 publishers would take an author that has a certification in marketing or has learned how to market versus somebody that doesn't. Even if the book is identical in quality and style and everything, that person who's got knowledge of marketing will get a better chance of being published versus someone who doesn't. It's not a guarantee you're going to get published. I have to be clear about that, but it definitely supports you and helps you get further along than somebody who doesn't. So we created the Authors Marketing Certification, and there's 2 levels. There's the beginners and the intermediate, and then we also have a special program for publishers as well, which we're developing more so for next year than this year. But it is pretty cool. You know, you get 10 hours of in-session classes and hands-on instruction, and then get certified for a year and continue to grow and develop and come back next year and learn some new things and continue to increase your book sales, and that's what it's all about.
Right, because, you know, I've been doing some research lately, and, you know, there was about 1 million books that were published last year, and it was really interesting to read this article on this survey that the publishers did that said about 75% of those books never sold more than a handful of books. And you combine that with the fact that authors, there seems to be still a misconception that, oh, well, if I get a publisher, the publisher's going to do all the marketing for them. And for a first-time author, even a second or third-time author, if you haven't, you know, developed a good groundswell of support and a fan base, you've got to be responsible for your own marketing. You want to comment on that?
That's true. And actually, I happened to read an article that came out of the London Book Fair last month in reference to something similar to that. It was more about the ebooks and the fact that ebook sales are just decreasing continuously year after year for the last 3 years, which a lot of people don't realize. That also presents the problem for marketing as well, because if your ebooks are decreasing and paper is increasing, people need to be out there selling their books. And if they don't know how to do it, they lose. And even though they've developed a fan base, you still have to keep them intrigued, interested, wanting to know more, not only about the book, but also about you. You're a brand. You're part of that essence. You're given into that book you wrote, so that's part of you. So you have to keep that continuously growing until your next novel is out or whatever the next program is that you're doing. And there's a whole bunch of different ways to do that.
Right, because part of this author's marketing certification, there's a class, for example, that comes from a need based on the feedback you're getting from authors that think that, oh, well, once I get my book on Amazon.com, that's marketing. And you've dedicated a whole workshop to the fact that, no, that's just like one piece of the pie, one piece of the puzzle. What else do you have? Oh, I'm teaching a class on Marketing 101 because the other authors think that all they have to do is get on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, and that's marketing. But I teach a whole workshop on how to market outside the box, referring to the computer box, because there's still nothing better than getting your book and your face in front of people. What else? Can you give us a couple more examples of some of the marketing programs that will be offered during this weekend?
Sure, and I want to touch base back on the Twitter and Facebook issue. Those are still good marketing tools to use, but people don't know how to use them properly. And so we do actually have a class that explains the best use of that based on your books and your genre and stuff. So, Twitter for writers, Facebook postings, things of that nature. Like I said earlier, your elevator pitch. And then what happens after you make the pitch? How do you get the conversation continuously going to the point where that person buys your book? Then using your book as a marketing tool itself, not just for sales, but to build upon who you are and what you're doing and stuff. I happen to teach my award-winning class, Marketing Renegade Style, which thinks outside the box as well, beyond just the computer, but beyond the aspect of standing there at a book festival. You've got to do more than just be at a book festival. You have to be engaging. You have to be powerful, but not pushy. Then we have, your sound bites. If you're lucky enough to get onto a radio show or get onto a TV show, you have to know how to talk to your audience without talking down to them. So we have Lori Allen who will be doing that. Journaling, how to get into magazines, how to get into anthologies. The use of audiobooks, that's the up-and-coming sales item. So why is that valuable? How do you use it? Word of mouth, so much more. I mean, we have 21 sessions of just pure marketing in all different levels.
Right, and we'll talk about the business of being an author, I think, in the second half of the program. But so many authors don't realize the multifaceted, multi-layered approach to the baby they just birthed in that book. And writing is an isolated kind of event, but that's why marketing can be so exciting, because it gets you out from in front of the computer to meet people and participate in other events. That, like the book award, I believe that aren't those awards being given the night before the author's marketing certification?
It's part of the event, yes. The event actually starts off on Friday night with a cocktail reception where everybody gets to meet each other, including the speakers, and then Saturday morning kicks off the sessions, and then Saturday night is the Celebration of Authors dinner, which is an awards dinner for this year's award winners, and then Sunday finishes off with some more sessions and wraps up the event. And if I may go back to something you said, writing is
Sure.
an individual type activity. You are in front of the computer or in front of your notepad or whatever, and you are creating that. And I understand that there are a lot of authors that just don't want to get in front of crowds or don't want to do the sales or don't want to do the marketing. But in reality, for today, you have no choice. You have to be doing it. If you're rich enough to be able to afford to hire a PR person or a marketing guru, by all means, do it. But most authors are not able to afford that. And if you want to succeed, if you want to develop your business, your brand as an author, you need to be out there. And too many authors just don't understand that.
Right. I had read an article recently where somebody was talking about the Hemingways and the reclusive authors of the past. And I remember the quote was something to the effect that with the advent of technology, that the option of being a reclusive bestseller is no longer an option. I thought, wow, well, that's true.
Yeah.
So this is the second year for this event, this July. Last year, you also did the event. How many attendees did you have last year?
For a total of 100 authors were present, and non-authors, relatives, were present. And this year we're looking at for the same amount minimum, but we're really shooting for 250.
Wow, and that for the first year of this event, this powerful, amazing marketing event with a conglomeration of experts teaching these workshops, you just can't get that anywhere else. So when we come back, Alan, we're going to ask you for more details about date, time, place, all those where people can register. But I'm going to take a quick break, so listeners, don't go anywhere. Stay right where you are, and after this break, we're going to talk the who, what, where, when of how you can get involved in the Authors Marketing Certification. We'll be back in a moment to Dear Texas Radio.
Dear Texas would like to thank our sponsors. McKinney, Texas has a rich history, one it embraces and loves to share with visitors. Nowhere is this more evident than McKinney's historic downtown with more than 100 eclectic shops and eateries to explore. Situated just 30 miles north of Dallas, McKinney offers the perfect getaway from the urban hustle. For more about McKinney, check out www.visitmckinney.com or call 888-649-8499. The third annual short story contest begins March 1st and runs through July 31st. Enter your short story for a chance at prizes and getting published. To learn more about this annual event, please visit our website at TxAuthors.com. Dear Texas would like to invite you to the McKinney Square Book Festival on June 3rd, 2017. The event will be held at the Performing Arts Center from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Meet 40-plus Texas authors, many of whom have won awards. Special events will take place during the day, and a special musical guest, Billy Dawson, will perform at 2 p.m. For more information, please visit our website, mckinney.deartexas.info. Wimberley Valley Tourism welcomes people to explore the many fine shops, restaurants, and wineries that make Wimberley special. More at wvtla.com. From concept to casting, recording to post-production, Spoke Media is dedicated to creating a superlative listener experience. www.spokemedia.io. EBG 247, where you can find ebooks galore 24 hours, 7 days a week at ebg247.com. Welcome to Dear Texas Radio, where we encourage Texans to drop everything and read. Your hostess for today's show is Arlene Gale.
Okay, this is Alan, and apparently we've lost Arlene, so I'm not sure what happened. But
Okay, are you there?
I'm here.
I've got this one little 2-foot by 2-foot square area in my office that evidently does not like the radio signal or the television or telephone signal. So let's start that again. Welcome back, everybody, to Dear Texas Radio. This is Arlene Gale, and I am speaking to a Texas author in his own right with multiple books with his own name on them. He's a marketing expert and founder and director of TxAuthors. And we're doing something a little bit different with Alan Bourgeois tonight. We are talking about the Authors Marketing Certification Program that he has helped develop. It's in its second year. So, Alan, how about you give us a little bit of the who, what, where, when, and how people can register to go to this event?
Sure. And I want to be real clear, even though TxAuthors is producing the event, this is open to any author around the world. Anyone who wants to fly into Houston for the event from July 20th through the 30th is more than welcome. This is an event that is meant to help all authors. To get to the website, it's simple. It's http://authors.marketing. No .com, no .org, or anything like that. It's authors.marketing. And from there, you'll be able to see the speakers list, the registration pages, the hotel information, which, by the way, we've got a super deal on the hotel. It's a Marriott at $69 a night. We just could not pass that up. So for the cost of the event and everything, you're looking, well, if you're driving, you're looking at under $500 for all of it. You may spend a little bit more if you're flying in, but it's going to be well worth it. You'll be one of the first people who will be certified. We've been putting the word out nationwide as well as internationally about the program, and we're getting a lot of good response to it, especially from the publishers.
Well, and that's a great place if you've got a manuscript that's almost done or in editing, and you're looking for a publisher or you're looking for an editor. This might be the perfect place to find that, make that connection. Let's say you've just dreamed about writing a book and you don't know how to get started. This may be the place for you. Fiction, nonfiction, it doesn't matter what genre. And if you've got a business and you're an expert in your field, maybe you need to consider writing a book. There's a workshop for you too about how you can use your expertise and put it in a book to help monetize and grow your business. So really, this kind of marketing is aimed at authors, but it's so incredibly valuable for anybody who wants to build a business and has talked, maybe you've talked about writing a book to the point where your friends are tired of listening to you. Get them to put together the money to send you to this conference. What do you think of that idea, Alan?
That sounds great. That'll get people motivated one way or the other.
There you go. You got a birthday coming up, anniversary. This is a great gift. The Authors Marketing Certification takes place July 28th through 30th in Houston. So, Alan, we have talked, you and I, several times about the difference between a published author versus an authorpreneur and how that outlook on their business, impacts what they do or don't do. You want to share your thoughts on the difference there?
Sure. An author is somebody who, for the most part, has just sat down, written their book, and got published, and that's it. They expect everything to just fall into their lap where they are earning millions of dollars just because they wrote a great book. However, an entrepreneur is one who realizes in order to get those millions of sales, they are out there actively, aggressively promoting and selling their book. They understand they have to market. Plus, they also vision this to be beyond just the one book success story. They want to make it into a career. And it's tough. Don't get me wrong. It's not real simple because most authors, 99% of us, have a full-time job on top of writing. And some authors are very good at being able to spend an hour or two a day, writing up their stories. Some actually spend 1 or 2 hours a day marketing because that's part of the deal. So it's a challenge, but it's well worth it when you're serious about becoming an entrepreneur, and we're here to help you succeed in that respect.
Because after all, putting out a good quality book that's going to sell and putting your name on something like that, that costs money. So we want to market to be able to, at the very least, break even, right?
Yeah, at least, and hopefully a lot more than that. So yes, at least.
Right.
And that's one of the challenges too for self-published authors, not realizing that even in today's world of publishing, traditional publishers still expect authors to be out there selling and marketing their book. They'll give you a little help at the beginning, but that's it, just at the beginning. Beyond that, you're still responsible for getting out there and continuously promoting yourself. And if you don't know how to do it, even with a traditional publisher, you're not going to have the book sales that you thought you would have.
So do you have any words of wisdom to kind of, whet the appetite for somebody who's holding on to that manuscript and just getting started, getting ready to publish? What would be one key bit of wisdom that you would share with them?
Right off the bat, always make sure that you've had a really good editor go through it with you, walk through it, make sure it's the best it can be with the storyline and everything of that nature. Of course, a good proofreader to make sure they catch all the grammar errors. I'm horrible in grammar myself, and I always depend on a proofreader to be able to go through and see things that I miss. Then having a good cover artist. You need to develop a good cover that's eye-catching, tells your story to a slight degree, and gets people to want to pick up the book and flip it over to read what the synopsis is. That's your next thing. You've got to have a great synopsis that lures the people to want to know more about the book. Once they've read that synopsis and are interested, they'll open the book up and start to read. And as long as you've had good writing inside, then they'll buy the book. They'll want to know and want to feel the story and really get into it. So those are the key factors to start with the publishing. But at the same time, even before the book actually gets published, you should already be marketing the book. I always tell authors they need to start either the time they start writing or 6 months before they publish the book. It's that critical to start that program as quickly as they possibly can. And it doesn't have to be much at the beginning. It can be simple little things. And all these things will be covered in our authors marketing event.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was going for. All of these things that are so important to the life or death of an independent author will be covered in this author's marketing event, because it's a lot of time and energy and money and a lot of information. And I guess the other thing that I would add to what you said is that there's so much that we get overwhelmed sometimes with I got to learn how to do this program, or I have to learn how to schedule posts or do this or do that. So not only will the author's marketing event, in my opinion, help you become better at those things, but what if you went to this event and you met that one person who already knows how to do those things but doesn't know how to do something that you do? Think about the amazing networking opportunities there. You have any feedback about that, Alan, and networking at this event?
Yes, and it's already happened. We've had people from last year who have networked and have helped each other build their business and succeed and grow with their books. So that's always something. Even though we're looking at possibly doing a DVD set for after the event, being there with authors and sharing ideas and coming up with new ideas is so critical. And that's why we always encourage people to attend these events. You need to have that interaction, because you never know that little thing that could be said that will set you off in the right direction or help somebody else and go in the right direction. Teamwork is something that we have worked with very hard with Texas Authors to get our authors working together and to help develop and build a relationship, not just in a genre but beyond. That helps everybody grow and succeed, and that's what's so important. That's why I do what I do, is I want the authors to succeed.
Oh yeah, and I've got to tell you to everybody that's listening, if you're an author, a wannabe author, a hope to be author, an almost right there to get published author, if you have ever even thought about writing a book, the Texas Authors is an organization that, Alan said you should start marketing before your book gets published, and I agree 100%, because if you wait till it's on Amazon to start marketing, you're already 6 months behind the 8 ball. So this organization, Texas Authors, is amazing. And if you have a question or need anything, I can tell you from my own personal experience of being involved in Texas Authors for more than 2 years, that if I have a question or I need anything, I send an email to Alan, and he's not ever far away from the computer. I don't know how he does that, but he's always right there and manages to answer all my questions. So, Alan, real quick, how does someone who's interested in becoming a member of Texas Authors do that?
They can go to TxAuthors, AUTHORS.com, and click on the Join Us button, and it'll give them the full description of the majority of the stuff that we do for them. And when somebody does join up with me on the phone within an hour, welcome to the organization and outline all the that's coming up, the program, TxAuthors.com is the starting point. And then if they're interested in authors marketing events, it's the website authors.marketing. That's all you have to do, no .com or anything, just authors.marketing, and you'll be able to see all the speakers and register online. And it's currently at $175, but we'll go up to $250 this year, so now's a good time to sign up for it.
Yeah, so you've got less than 2 weeks to get that great special deal. So any final words, Alan, before we call it a night?
Well, I thank you very much for this time, and I really do hope people that are listening to take advantage of these opportunities that we present. Like I said, it's all about helping authors succeed. I mean, we're $1 billion industry to Texas alone, and it's, to make it a fair share, this organization is here to help you do that. And we'd love to have you as a member.
Thank you, Alan. We'll see you in Houston July 28th and 30th. And everybody, all the authors out there in Texas, come join us there at the Authors Marketing Certification event. And for now, that's all there is from Dear Texas Radio.
Dear Texas would like to thank our sponsors, Bourgeois Media and Consulting, book publishing consultant where creative inspiration is realized. More at bourgeoismedia.com. I'm Alex Anthony, your announcer. For all inquiries regarding voiceover, narration, and announcing services as heard on this program, please make contact through voxluxstudio@gmail.com, voxluxstudio@gmail, or you can call 512-537-6077. Thank you for listening and for your support. Thank you for listening to Dear Texas Radio. To learn more about Dear Texas and its literacy programs, please visit their website at deartexas.info. I am Alex Anthony, your announcer.